Why do humans collect things? What will make someone stand in line for 2 hours in the sun just to buy a bottle of bourbon? Hey everybody, it's Ben the Coin Geek at Old Pueblo Coin in Tucson, Arizona. And today I want to talk to you a little bit about collecting in general. And for those of you who haven't seen it, I made a video a couple years ago just talking about collecting some watches, kind of the fun thing that I was finding at the time that I thought was cool. And, I was just calling it the joy of collecting. And there's lots of things that we collect and lots of reasons we collect. But I was thinking more about in the coin market, how do we collect, what do we collect, and why? What's cool, what's not? Why are there coins that have huge mintages that are still pretty expensive and other coins that have really small mintages that, aren't that expensive? Why are the Kardashians famous, right? This is all kind of the same thing because there's so much psychology that goes into collecting, and not just coins, but anything that we do, anything we're compelled to do. And it brings me back to the fact that I think people, generally speaking, are really easily persuaded by the masses, by the people around them. So it's pretty easy to see when you start looking at any collector hobby, once you get into it, what happens? Well, you start listening to the people who are around you talking about what's cool and what's not. So in the coin market, if they're telling you, oh, you've got to only buy PCGS, or no, the NGC registry is the way to go, or no, you got to have CAC stickers. I want yellow annex holders. That's kind of how that goes, right? So you listen to the people around you, and they help formulate a ton of your opinions. And that's very hard to break free from. And so one of the things that I kind of would challenge anyone on is to break free from the mass psychology when you do your collecting, whatever it is. Collect what you enjoy collecting. So I was also thinking about, how things are released, how you have access to things as a collectible, how it's expensive on the secondary market. And so literally I was in line waiting for some bourbon one morning because my friends told me about this. I'm like, hey, let's go do this thing. This sounds kind of interesting. But I've learned a lot in the last few weeks about just how the distribution affects the price points and how in some states some products aren't available and they're made in limited quantities. And they're actually contracted to sell at a certain price. But then on the secondary market, if your buddy gets something that you can't locate where you're at, well, then he gets to charge you double. Does that sound at all like the coin market to you? Like when you buy a new US Mint product and they have not made it to order, it's not a mass produced to order, it's just something that, well, we're only going to let a few thousand people buy these. And then after that, the price is going to quintuple on the aftermarket. Here's one of the things that's very different is that with the US Mint, you end up finding these products that somehow magically are on one of these coin channels late at night on television, and they seem to have access to a lot of the things that you only had access to one of. Oh, that's right, you couldn't get it. So you actually had access to 0 of them. So you still have that access problem within the industry, but the difference is with in this example that we're using today, the bourbon, these companies that get it in large quantities are contracted to sell it at a certain price point. They're not allowed to vary from MSRP very much. Whereas once you get something at the Home Shopping Network or one of those other channels, they can take a coin that the Mint produced 5 minutes ago and charge whatever they want for it. And oftentimes they do. And so that creates the perception. Now, where I'm going with this next is that perception that people see on Home Shopping Network influences all kinds of masses of people in coin collecting to thinking what things might be worth or not worth. But little do they know that there's another area, another outlet that they can go to find coins, to buy coins, so they don't have to pay $500 for a silver eagle that they could have bought locally for $100. But who's going to tell them? Right? Well, that's where you come in. You need people in your life to tell you things. How does this work? I don't know what's happening when I'm just going to stand in line and buy some. Well, there's like all these availabilities. What's going to be available when I get to the front of the line? What's not? And you talk to people like, how does this work? And in the coin market, you need to be that person to tell the other people, how do you collect coins? Right? And so for a lot of you, if you're new and you're listening to my voice, thanks for being here. And I'll try to steer you direct, like just listen to the things I say, watch all the channel content. I do lots of different stuff, but I just try to say things how I see things from being in the industry a long time. But for those of you who've been collecting for a long time, your move is to really be able to be a voice for anyone. So go to Coin Club and say, hey, Yeah, don't buy that stuff. Like you can see when someone's been shopping on the Home Shopping Network because they're bringing the product in to you. And then the media influence that is on people, the ability to really change people's minds or tell them like what's cool and what's not, it's hard to break through that barrier when like someone's really been brought into I was a zeitgeist, a spirit of the times, when they've really been brought to believe that no, you can only buy a certain type of coin or a certain type of holder or a certain grade. It's hard to really reprogram them. And I experience this anytime I get into a new type of collector market where I'm the newbie and I'm running around listening to people and trying to figure out what is something really worth, what's the value of it. And I've got this collector bug problem to where I see anything that's either I think is a value, a deal, or like is scarce or rare that other people would want. Well, now I want it, right? Well, why would I want that? I didn't want that like a week ago, right? Oh, but now other people want it. Oh, if they want it, well then I want it. Right? So we're really easy to influence, but what I'm saying is let's flip that around and say like, look, you as a collector influence the people around you. And like, why do you buy coins? Coins are cool. What are you talking about? Why wouldn't you buy coins? Why wouldn't you enjoy? Look at the stuff. Look at the history. Look at the artwork. My goodness. Julius Caesar. Come on now. Did you see these banknotes that we got in? Did you know that some of them say Hawaii? The war? Do you know about the war stuff that came out? Oh, okay. What about colonial stuff? You can buy a colonial banknote for like $100. It's super cool. Tis death to counterfeit? Like this is all the stuff that y'all have in your back pocket, and you don't have to think about it hardly at all to just share that love and be like, hey, check this out. And I'm telling you, especially with the younger generations, now I can't bring all the kids into the bourbon line with me, and I'm not going to. But also, like with the younger generations, you got to just be out there in front of them and say, "Hey, look, this is cool, man," because the coins are going away. I mean, I don't think I'm telling anyone any secret here, but in my lifetime, I don't think that we will use coins anymore. By the time I'm as old as a few of you are who watch this, and thank you for being there for me. I appreciate it. I really do. Like those coins won't circulate in America in my lifetime. I'm pretty certain. Now the commemoratives will still go on, but you got to understand most kids, their parents are my age because I have kids, right? And so most people my age, other than me because I'm an old soul, they don't use cash. They don't get coins. They use cards. They use their phone. They got like Venmo and the Cash App. I don't even have Zelle yet. Like I'm a dinosaur. Anyway, the point about all this is, guys, collecting is super fun. We do it still for community, to be with people, to enjoy time together, and enjoy whatever the certain different esoteric items are within a community. And that's still what it's all about. And you're all about that. You're all a part of that. I still don't know why the Kardashians are famous. Maybe somebody had too much bourbon one night, and there's that. But I can't get into that psychology. But for coins and coin collecting, you guys are the answer to the future. And I hope you answer the call. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'm Ben the Coin Geek. You can subscribe by clicking on the owl button in the corner and watch more videos on the right side of the screen. Okay, so if all the kids left at this point, I know some of you are probably asking, like, okay, Ben, what did you get? It's just like, I don't know much about anything, but I thought this was kind of cool. The company's called Blanton's, and I probably say it wrong because I'm not from the right part of the country, but I'm not buying this to drink. I'm buying it to keep, and that's how the collector gene works. Don't ask. Don't ask. All right, guys, take care.